So let's find Tadasana at the end of the mat. Make sure you've got your block handy and ready to go. Hands down beside the hips. Let's spread the toes, root down through the feet. Notice each corner of the foot in contact with the mat. Draw your attention up the legs, lift the knees using the thighs. Take a slight tuck of the pelvis, strengthen the core towards the back. Spread the fingers, face the palms forward, reach down through the fingertips and up through the crown. Take a moment to set your intention for today's practice. So repeat your Sankalpa that you're currently working with 3 times to yourself in the present tense. We're also going to set our intention for our practice this month. So each time we come to the mat, our intention is, I am aware and connected with my yoga practice. I am aware and connected with my yoga practice. Let's take an inhale as we circle sweep arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold, big step back with the right leg into lunge. Inhale, breath, heel, left fingertips to ceiling for the twist. Exhale, hand to mat, step back, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths in downward facing. Tilt the hips up towards the ceiling, open the chest towards the toes. Find length from fingertip through to hip. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, lower knees, chin and chest to mat. Untuck the toes, inhale to cobra. Exhale, lower chin and chest to mat, tuck the toes under. Take an inhale, breath. Exhale, press to knees. Downward facing dog. Bring the big toes together to touch at the end of your mat. Inhale, sweep right leg to 3-legged dog. Exhale, tuck the knee to nose and plant the foot. Release the rear knee down to the mat. Inhale, breath as we circle sweep arms up into crescent lunge. Exhale, sink the hips, cactus arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to sink, cactus arms. Inhale to reach. Exhale to sink down. Bring the hands beside the front foot. Lift the rear knee off the mat. Inhale, breath, recoil, bend that rear leg. Exhale, step forward to the fold. Inhale, slowly roll up through the spine. All the way up to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold, big step back with the left leg into lunge. Inhale, peel right fingertips to ceiling for the twist. Exhale, hand to mat, step back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths in downward. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, lower down through chaturanga. Pause, inhaling to upward facing. Exhale, roll or step over the toes, downward facing dog. Big toes together to touch. Inhale, sweeping left leg up to 3-legged. Exhale, tuck knee to nose and plant the foot. Lower the rear knee down. Inhale, circle sweep arms up to crescent lunge. Exhale, sink to crescent. Inhale, reach. Exhale, sink. Inhale to reach. Exhale, frame the front foot with the hands. Lift the rear knee, recoil into the back leg. Step forward. Let's take ragdoll pose, so loop the thumbs into the elbows. Find length from heel to hip. Bring the weight forward onto the toes. Allow the spine to release, head, neck, shoulders completely relaxed, succumbing to gravity. Breathing deeply. Let's release the arms. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rolling up through the spine. Circle sweeping arms to Urdhva Hastasana. Palms together, Anjali Mudra. Bringing the palms to the front of the heart space. Take an inhale breath. Exhaling to Tadasana. So take a moment to notice the heat and energy what we've generated in the body so far with one round of sun salutation. Let's bring the big toes together, heels slightly apart. We're going to move on to sun salutation B. So on an inhale breath, sink the hips back, bring the hands behind the hips. Knees come together and sweep the arms forward and overhead. Reach the fingertips towards the top of the room you're in. We're here for 5 breaths. Inhale, open the chest, open the armpits. Exhale, find depth in the hips. Squeeze those knees together. Each inhale, we find opening in the chest. Each exhale, we find strength in the hips. Next exhale breath, we fold forward to Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, big step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Big toes together to touch at the back of the mat. Inhale, sweep the right leg up to 3-legged. Exhale, tuck the knee towards nose, plant the foot. Setting up for warrior 1. Rear foot steps forward and out to the left slightly. Take 45 degrees at the foot, and then inhale, sweep the arms up. So here we want to find height and length through the arms and fingertips, but the shoulders are down. Distance between earlobe and shoulder. Press into that outside foot, so down the back of the leg and into the blade of that back foot. Exhale as we return the hands down to the mat. Frame the front foot. Rear foot steps back. Inhale, breath. Exhale, step back. Downward facing dog. We're going to go straight into second side after a vinyasa. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhaling through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Big toes together to touch at the back. Inhale, sweeping left leg to 3-legged. Exhale, tuck knee to nose. Plant the foot. Setting up for second side, warrior 1. So rear foot steps forward out to the right slightly. Push into the outside edge of that foot. Strengthen and lengthen that right leg. Inhale as we stand. Finding warrior 1 pose. So feel the strength in that rear leg. Pushing into the ball of the toe on the front foot. Reach up through the fingertips. Make the armpits and the elbows open, but keep those shoulders down. And releasing down, hands framing the front foot. Rear foot steps back. Inhale, breath. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. One more vinyasa flow. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale through chaturanga. Inhale, halfway lift, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing. Let's take a big inhale breath here. Bend the knees, look forward towards the hands. And exhale, big step forward. Big toes come together. Heels slightly apart. Hands start behind the hips. Inhale, breath. Squeeze the knees together as we sweep the arms up. Overhead, finding fierce pose. Let's loop the thumbs together this time. Reach the fingers forward. Remember those cues, that presence in this pose. Feel the heat, feel the challenge, but also notice how you can achieve this pose. We have resilience, determination, and will. Inhale, standing. Hands together, Anjali Mudra. Front of the heart space. Finding Tadasana pose. So let's take some breaths here. Notice the heat and the energy in the body. Feel how we really build up positive prana in the body while we practice. Prana is our energy. Take a moment to regain the breath. Now let's inhale, circle sweep, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, big step back with the right foot. We're setting up for warrior two. So rear foot comes 90 degrees. So the outside blade edge of your foot is parallel with the end of your mat. Make sure your front heel is aligned with the instep of your back foot. Get the legs strong. So put a lot of strength into this straight leg. And then we're going to float up. Find the legs first. So push into that outside edge of the foot. Make this leg nice and long. Remember, we're opening the hips here, but we're squeezing the thighs together. So we're staying strong and stable in the pelvis. Let's inhale, float the arms up. So reach fingertip to fingertip. Allow the shoulders to be soft away from the ears, but find that reach between the fingers. So we're pulling the hips together and we're pulling the fingers apart. Opposition. We'll inhale, straighten that front leg. Reach forward from the hip. Keep reaching and then exhaling into our Trikonasana. So bottom hand comes to the ankle. Top hand reaches towards the ceiling. In this pose, let's work on opening the chest. Top ribs opening towards the ceiling. Bottom ribs tucking in towards the ground. Maybe we can take the gaze to the top fingers. Finding our breath, finding our ease in discomfort or ease in challenge. Let's inhale, rise up, keeping strength in that front leg. Finding warrior two legs again. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, windmill the arms back down to the mat, framing the front foot. Come onto the ball of the rear foot. Recoil into the back leg, so bend the knee and step forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Big step back with the left foot. Setting up for second side warrior. So really pushing into the blade edge of that rear leg, getting the legs established. Lining up heel to instep. Raise the body up, but just stay focused on the leg base first. So pelvis coming apart at the center as our knees and our legs do different sort of opposing movements, but squeezing the thighs together. Push into the outer blade. Inhale, float the arms up. Find length and strength from fingertip to fingertip, but keep the shoulders soft, away from the ears. Push into the big toe knuckle on the front foot. Find the strength in the legs. Inhale, extend the front leg and reach forward from the hip. And then exhale, front hand comes down to the ankle. Top hand reaches towards the ceiling. Open the chest up. This time left rib cage reaching for the ceiling. Right rib cage reaching for the ground. Gaze comes to the hands. Focus on opening the chest. Find your breath. Find your ease. Let's inhale, float up. Strengthen this front leg first. Finding warrior two legs again. One more time. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, windmill the hands around to frame the front foot. Come up into the ball of the back foot. Recoil into the rear leg and step forward to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rolling up all the way through the spine. Urdhva Hastasana, hands together. And then finding Anjali Mudra at the front of the heart space. Take an inhale breath, exhale, Tadasana. Let's take a soft Tadasana here. So just allow all of your muscles to relax. Find your center of gravity. So find that balance point in the body where you can switch off most of your muscles. So now we're coming back to that ease, feeling ease in the body, giving ourselves the chance to recover so that we can bring everything we've got into the next pose, which is our warrior threes. So we're going to bring the hands together, Anjali Mudra, front of the heart space. Bring weight into the right leg. Keep the hips nice and neutral. Feel the big toe, little toe heel pushing into the mat. Now let's draw the left leg up, bringing the toes towards the shins. Make that a strong pull, toes towards shins, so we can activate that left leg. Take an inhale breath and then exhale, hinge forward at the right hip as we simultaneously press the left leg back, finding length from heel to head. Okay, this is where we can take the bolster, the block as a support. Our focus here is keeping both of our hip bones evenly distanced from the mat. Also, pressing through the heel, all the way from head to heel, making strength and length in that raised leg. Squeezing the glute. Find your breath. Feel the difficulty of the pose, but notice how you are able to achieve it. This is our heat and ease. Let's slowly hinge out of the pose, bringing the left foot to the mat. Give the legs a little release. Hands come back together, front of the heart space, Anjali Mudra. Bringing the weight into the left foot. So feel the weight even between big toe, little toe, heel. Notice the hips, keep them square. Tuck the right foot up and lift the knee. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, we're going to fold forward from that left hip. Bringing the right heel back, extending the leg, finding length from heel to head. Taking the block as a support. Find the length here and the breath. Notice the work, notice the challenge, but also notice how you're able to hold the pose. Keep that focus on the breath, on the body. And release. Give the legs a little walk, a little release. Shake the arms. And find Tadasana. Hands beside hips. Inhale, circle sweep, arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold, and we're going to step back into downward facing dog. Let's take 5 breaths in down dog here. So feet hip distance apart, opening the chest and the armpits towards the toes. Poke that tailbone up towards the ceiling, bend the knees if you need to. Try and find the length from tailbone to crown and find strength in the hands on the mat. So really digging the hands into the mat. So release down to the knees. And we'll come to a seat on a bolster. So it's important for the last part of this practice, I would like you to be seated on a bolster for this one, so that we can keep our focus and our attention on our breath. So this final part of our practice, incorporating our breath work in a seated position, which means we are working towards our mindfulness and meditation practice. So for this one today, find a comfortable seat. We want the knees to be hip height or lower than hips, so the bolster is really important. Bring the hands to the knees and just start to bring your awareness to your breath. Allow the breath to return to a steady state. Really notice your body. Now we're going to take 10 mindful breaths. So during this practice, we'll follow the breath, counting backwards from 10. If you feel like your counting gets disrupted by thoughts, start again from 10. If you lose count, forget where you're up to, start again from 10. You can do this as long as you like until you get down to 1. Or if you get from 10 to 1 quite easily, feel free to do a second round. So let's start inhaling 10, exhaling 10, inhaling 9, exhaling 9. Continue now at your own pace. Just let go of the counting now and take a moment to notice whether or not you got from 10 down to 1 without being interrupted by thoughts. If you notice you did drift off into a thoughts, but you came back to the counting, that's great. That's progress. Each time we're able to see a thought, notice it, allow it to pass by, and continue what we're doing without being caught up by it, we are moving in the right direction towards our mindfulness practice. Let's bring the hands together one more time in Anjali Mudra at the front of the heart space. Press the thumbs into the sternum. Bow the head down to the hands. Take a moment to revisit your intention from the start of the practice, remaining aware of our poses. Notice which poses really got your attention, the poses that help you really be in your body. May be peaceful, may be happy, may be calm. Namaste.